Now let's look at algebraic equations. We already learned that an equation is one expression set equal to another one. It could be algebraic on this side, such as 2x minus 5 equals 5, 5 being a numerical expression, this one being algebraic because it has a variable. But either way, an equation is two expressions set equal to each other. When we see this equal sign, we know we need to solve it. We need to figure out what the unknown is. So we're isolating x. Before we get into solving, I want to apply some context to understanding why these may be in existence to begin with, okay? So we'll just use this for an example. I have 2 times some number, then I'm going to subtract 5, and it's going to equal 5. Well, you might already be thinking, well, I know x is 5. Okay, but this is a very simple equation, and they get a lot trickier. So we're going to learn the process with easy ones and apply it to more difficult ones. What could this represent in the real world? Well, a lot of times we deal with money. We could be dealing with height. We could be dealing with distance. We could be dealing with all kinds of things. I like to use money in a lot of cases just because it's very applicable. So let's say that every week, okay, I'll just use myself. Mrs. Tasova earns $2 per week. No, per hour. For what would make sense? Maybe Amazon sales. Maybe I'm helping with Amazon, okay? Or I'm a marketer for them or something. So I get $2 per hour for Amazon sales and spends $5 each week on advertising. Now here comes the how many or what is, because we're answering a question. How many hours, because we don't per hour, X is the hours. How many hours did she work for Amazon if, here's the criteria, if she has $5 at the end of the week. Remember, it is super important to go back from what you wrote and see if every part of the equation or the expression or whatever is represented in your context. Mrs. Tasova earns $2 per hour. Okay, there's the 2x. For Amazon sales, and spends, there's the subtraction, spends 5, so see it, 2x minus 5 so far, each week on advertising. How many hours did she work for Amazon if she has is what equals, I have this now, so equals $5 at the end of the week. So I worked, this represents the entire week. I made this much, I spent this much, this is what I have left at the end of the week. Okay? We said we already knew the answer, but we're going to look at the process for solving it. 2x minus 5 equals 5. So one thing that is super helpful as we start to build this routine and procedure for solving equations is I always teach my students to draw lines down the equal sign. This helps you stay organized. The first thing we need to do is we need to undo what's being done to x. I want you to think about order of operations and think about it backwards. First of all, before we get started, you guys know PEMDAS. Well, I'm changing the P to a G. It is GEMDAS. Because what does the P mean? It means parentheses. What's the purpose of parentheses? It's to group something together. Hence the G. You do anything that is being grouped, because sometimes it's not always in parentheses. As you get into higher level math, it could be in other symbols, brackets, absolute value symbols, things like that. So we do grouping, then exponents, then multiplication, division, then addition, subtraction. Now, when we're undoing, we're doing the opposite. So we're not moving from G to S, we're moving from S to G. So let's write that out. We're now, when we're solving for the unknown, we are doing the order SAD-MAG. Now, something that I thought of when I came up with this was, you shouldn't watch Family Guy, but if you do, you know Meg is always sad. She's always depressed. Everybody's always mean to her, things like that. So I think SAD-MAG when I think of, okay, we're going to be undoing what's happening here in this equation. So instead of doing grouping and exponents and all that first, we're going to do subtraction and addition. So we're undoing what's being done to the x. What's being done to x is it's being multiplied by 2, and then 5 is being subtracted after, okay? We're going to get rid of this. Remember, this is the term -5. It's minus 5, but it takes on that negative, or that subtraction as a negative. So to undo a -5, we put a positive, right? So we are going to add 5. Whatever we do to this side, we have to do to this side, or we're not keeping it balanced. We're not keeping it equal. This is now eliminated. Our goal is to get x isolated, and we're one step closer now. Then we have 5 plus 5 on this side, and that equals 10. We're going to extend this down a little bit more because we're not done. Now we have 2 times x. Well, if we're undoing multiplication, that means we're going to divide. See how division is now first. So we're undoing the multiplication. We're going to divide by 2 on both sides because it was being multiplied by 2. And this is the proof of why x equals 5. We knew it up here. We could probably fill it in, but we're not doing mental math, okay? We're learning a process and we're showing every step. Guys, I cannot stress to you how important this is enough. I can't do it enough. You must show every single step. One row at a time. You build that habit now, you will be completely set up for success later. These equations will get very difficult very fast. There will be fractions, more negatives, lots of division, all kinds of things built in there, decimals. So this is how you solve. I want to see it very neat. Use the lines on your paper and things like that. Okay, so now you're going to do some practice.